boy oh boy do I have something special to show you in today's video. Even the packaging blew me away, to be honest. I did produce an unboxing video for this watch, which I posted on I Like Watches too. I shared in that video my first impressions, but in this video I'm going to go into a lot more detail. Basically, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this. Well, I'm going to say Zeroo. Everybody else is saying Zeroo. I would have said Zeroo, but yeah, Zeroo. Now, for those of you not familiar with the brand, it is a Japanese brand, a micro brand, I guess, to some degree. They are producing watches in fairly low quantities, although they're producing this watch in 1,000 unit batches per colour. Sort of limited, and there's 4 colours, so they're producing 4,000 units. And I'm guessing each one is going to come in one of these boxes. I love it. I mean, it's like a display box, isn't it? Just incredible. But then, when I talk to you about the price towards the end of the video, I think you're going to see why the box is also quite impressive. Having said that, they are offering the first 20 backers of their Indiegogo campaign 38% off. So yeah, if you really are serious about picking one of these up, stick around towards the end of the video. You'll know a lot more about the campaign. But before then, I want to talk to you about this watch. I think it's in direct competition with watches like the Christopher Ward 12X. But this watch has something the 12X doesn't have, and that is a tourbillon movement. Although this is a hand wind only movement, so the 12X has something this watch doesn't have. That is a rotor. But they also have something in common, twin barrels inside the movements, so the power reserve on this particular watch is around 60 hours. So you're going to need to hand wind it every 2 or 3 days. Now I've sort of skipped over the fact that this is a tourbillon, haven't I? Yeah, I mean, it's a tourbillon, a Japanese tourbillon. For those of you not familiar with tourbillon movements, they were initially invented to counteract the effects of gravity on pocket watches. They're not really that useful in wristwatches because our watches, when they're on our wrists, they're not just hanging in the same position all the time like pocket watches used to. But they have become synonymous with luxury, wealth, and so yeah, to pick up a Swiss-made tourbillon watch, you're looking at, well, over $10,000. So if you consider that when you're looking at spending roughly $2,500 on a watch like this from Japan, it makes these watches seem like incredible value, really. Admittedly, a little bit more premium than the sort of watches you'd usually see on my channels, but yeah, this is the watch they wanted me to review. They do have a few much more affordable watches on their website. So when they reached out to me and said, would you like to review one of our watches? I immediately asked for their cheapest watch just to sort of, well, dip my toe in the water. But they came back to me and said, well, actually, we are launching this watch on Indiegogo. This is the one we want you to show. So I've been thrown in at the deep end with a tourbillon. And I got to say, well, I should expect for the money. It's incredible, isn't it? Very interesting, very unusual. It's not perfect by any means. Not that any watch is, but you'd want it to be close to perfect considering the price, the retail price in particular, $3,500 US. But yes, of course, it is an impressive piece. The movement is their own movement, twin barrel tourbillon movement, 28,800 beats per hour, non-hacking. Yeah. The movement doesn't stop when you pull the crown out. No ghost position or anything like that. There's no date complication. And it's impressive, isn't it? We can see the movement because we have a skeletonized dial and we can see lots of the movement at the back, which looks almost as good as the front because we have crystal in the back as well. The crystal on the front of this watch is sapphire crystal. It's curved and it's got the branding printed on the underside, which is a bit different, isn't it? Not sure how I feel about that. Does it get in the way? Let me know, guys, in the comments section. I'd like to know your thoughts on the branding being printed as large as it is on the underside of the crystal. But regardless, the crystal, the shape, it's, yeah, unbelievable. There is a little bit of distortion if you hold the watch at a certain angle, but on the whole, visibility is not impaired. Yeah, interestingly though, the top surface of the watch is curved, but the underneath isn't. So you're not going to get the same feel with this watch as you do with watches like the Bulova Curve, for example, which are curved on the top surface and the bottom surface. But having said that, for a big watch, yeah, it is fairly comfortable. As you would expect, the finishing, the steel finishing, because this is a stainless steel watch, it's not titanium, is impressive, very impressive. A lot of transitions from brushing to polishing. I've not seen any over brushing. Yeah, the transitions look incredible, and the design is complex and beautiful. So much to look at. I'm not going to point out every single detail. I'm just going to show you lots of beautiful pictures of this watch. And yeah, the bracelet is integrated. So popular these days, aren't they? Integrated steel bracelets. Lots of links. Now, these links are 6mm long. And the reason I bring that up is because, well, we have a butterfly clasp. And guess what? We have no half links. Now, normally in this situation, I would go into a mini rant and rave because with a bracelet that has 10mm links, no half links is a massive problem. But as the links get smaller, it becomes less and less of a problem. So with these links being 6mm long, it's not the end of the world, but I still would like to see half link options or some sort of capacity to adjust this bracelet to a sort of micro level. Now, if we look through the beautifully curved sapphire crystal on the front of the watch, you will see a skeletonized dial, a mostly solid chapter ring around the outside of the dial. So you've got minute markers, and you've also got hour markers with lume applied. Lume on the hands. I'll show you the lume degrading at the end of the video. So that's nice to see. Some lume on this watch. Quite often you don't see lume on watches like this, but yes, we've got some lume. That's good. I like the mix of colours as well. You've got a sort of steel, silvery finish to the hands and those applied indexes, but then you've got a sort of darker gunmetal grey to the frame for the case, the skeletonized dial essentially. And then there's a splash of colour on the watch as well with those jewels, and the screw on the tourbillon cage that's blue is designed to represent a seconds hand, so you can sort of see a representation of seconds as the cage is rotating once every minute. And I have to say, the back of the watch is, well, I said almost as interesting as the front. It might even be more interesting, you know. Some really cool colours on the back of the watch as well. Obviously, you can see some jewels. You've got some gold print. You've got lots of cogs and silvery bits and pieces. Sorry, I'm not that technical. But then you've also got a little bit more of that sort of gunmetal grey frame exposed. And of course you can still see the rotating tourbillon cage. It's, yeah, really cool to look at actually. And I've spent half of my time just slowly winding up this watch. There's so much to see, isn't there? A lot of the movement is on display. And when you're not looking at the movement, I think you're captivated by the case and the bracelet. I just keep looking at the finishing. It really, really is impressive. And with the top surface of this case and crystal being curved like it is, it's very unusual. Don't tend to see too many watches that look like this. Yes, there is a splash of familiarity with the overall shape and design, but they've done quite a few things that, yeah, make it stand out, I think. So I think they've created a fascinating watch, to be honest. A really, really impressive and interesting piece. So what are these? Japanese made, they're made in Tokyo, Japan, by the way. Japanese made, Japanese micro brand tourbillon skeletonized dial, twin barreled, hand wind, all stainless steel, sort of fancy sport watch is going to cost you? Well, the retail price is $3,500 US. They are offering some pretty substantial discounts for early backers of the Indiegogo campaign. The campaign's going to go on for 2 months, but yeah, if you do want to pick up these watches at the best prices, you're going to want to get in there early, up to 38% off for those of you that get in there super early. So you will be able to pick up these watches for just under $2,200. I mean, a proper working tourbillon. Made in Japan, built to these sort of standards, that looks like this. Yes, it's a lot of money, but boy, oh boy, would you be picking up an incredible watch. I'll pop a link for the Indiegogo campaign into my video description. Yeah, head over there if you're interested. It's not an affiliate link, it just takes you over to the campaign. I'll also put a link to their website as well, and you can have a look at some of their other watches. Right, maybe now they will send me one of their more affordable watches. I would like to see what their $300 watches are like. So I am genuinely going to reach out to them and say, now can I have one of these? Right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, thanks for watching.